What's going on, YouTube? Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Kenny. If you are coming back to the channel, you know the routine. Welcome back to the crib, big baby. As always, it is good to see you. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, welcome. Thank you for taking time to stop by. It is nice to meet you and good to see you as well. If you would, help this channel continue on that path of growing by hitting that subscribe button. Also, the notification bell so you'll be notified when there's some new content for you to check out. Hit the like button. And also, something new. If there's somebody you know in your circle that can use this content, make sure you share the video as well and or share the channel. That would really be appreciated. All right, let's get this timestamp out of the way. Today's date is July the 13th, 2021 at the time of the recording, about 8 p.m. Eastern time. So depending on where you are and when you watch this particular video, good evening, maybe good night, and if it's the following day, good morning. Either way, I appreciate you being here. Excuse me. All right. So, is there a risk in starting a box truck business? Short answer, yes. There is a risk in any business. All right. But before we dive too deep, let me first say, guys, I do not know everything. Certainly don't claim to know everything. I am learning just like you are. I am going to give you my opinion, not right or wrong, just my opinion. I often say you and I will probably think differently and probably will do things different. So the question, I've gotten several questions. Kenny, is it risky getting into this box truck business? My wife don't want me to do it. My husband don't want me to do it. Man, I don't know what to do. So hopefully this video will help you make a decision. Obviously, I cannot make that decision for you. I can give you my opinion based upon me being in business for several years, obviously brand new to the box truck arena, but I have several other companies. So let me just say yes, yes, yes. Not only is it risky starting a box truck business, there is risk involved in starting any business, in my opinion. That is why I'm often saying it is very important that you take your time, do your research, have a plan, and that will increase your chances of having success. Again, in my opinion. I also think there's risk of not doing this business or any business. No, no judgment against those who are happy at status quo, working their 9 to 5 or whatever schedule you on. If that is what you choose to do, you're happy, nothing wrong with that. There are so many subscribers on this channel that has retired, looking for something to do. So many people have hit me up that actually work in a job, but dead end job. They're getting by, not getting ahead. I don't know your situation. I'm going to talk about me, as I often do, because I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I can't, and certainly not qualified to tell you. I don't know what your situation is, but I'm going to talk about me. I love what I do. For those who are new to this channel, my background is communication over 3 decades. I absolutely love it, still love it to this day. But I also love being an entrepreneur. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I love what I do, but I also love being an entrepreneur. Now, one of my companies is in line with what I've been doing for over 3 decades. And so that was an easy decision in terms of getting into business. I didn't really look at it as being a risk, but there are some risks. There's always risk when you're in business for yourself, especially if you're doing it full time. I have not gotten to where I am doing it full time, although my business is established and I could do it full time. But I'm also a fan of having multiple streams of revenue. For those who know me personally that may be watching this channel or this particular video, you know I'm telling the truth. I'm always talking about having multiple streams of revenue. And I've always been that way. You know, even when I was a younger man, I'm always looking at other ways to generate some revenue, whether that's box trucks or anything else. Now, it's going to be up to you to make that decision for you and your family. Do I want to take this risk? to better myself, because that's what I think. I think it's bettering yourself. You have to make that decision. And then you got to say, okay, is it trucking? Then you got to narrow it down even smaller. Is it box truck? Is it going to be semi? Is it going to be expediting? Is it going to be Sprinter vans? Is it going to be hot shotting? Whatever lane you decide in transportation, you've got to do your research. You've got to research it, because it's ups and downs. But listen, I've often said there's ups and downs in many businesses, whether it's trucking or anything else. You've got to do your research. You've got to have a plan. You've got to be strategic, and you've got to have financial means of doing it. If you don't have financial means of doing it, that's why I always say be patient. Put some money together. Start saving up. Have some reserves. There's going to be some peaks and valleys. You may have a week where you don't make any money, or your expenses outweighed your profit. Your expenses was more than your profit. Does that make sense? So let's just say you made $2,000 in 1 week, but your expenses were $3,000, right? You're negative. There's going to be times where you're not as profitable as you want to be. But the other side of that, there's going to be times where you exceed your financial goals for the week. It's up and down. But you got to be in position to be prepared to deal with the down, right? My situation right now, truck in the shop, $3,200 to get it out. I am blessed to be able to pay that, but I'm losing money. That's unfortunate, but that's part of trucking. It's part of any business. And had I not been prepared, done some research, I would have some issues, right? And I've often said sometimes we can have just enough money to go out of business. Don't let that be you. How do you avoid that? Well, research, plan, save your money. What are you going to do should your truck break down? Not if, but when. It's a machine. They all break down. And so you just got to have a plan. How do you build business credit? Why is building business credit important? So you will have access to capital, should you need it. That's why. And you want to make sure your business is separate from you personally. In my opinion, very important. And that's why on this channel, we don't just talk about, driving a box truck, picking up a load and delivering it. Here's how much I made. That's certainly the big part of the business, right? But we also talk about building business credit. That's also important. And so, listen, we can talk forever about, is there a risk factor in getting into the box truck business? Absolutely, guys. I mean, I'd be lying, or anybody would be lying if they tell you different. But there's also, in my opinion, a risk of not taking the risk. It's in my opinion. I don't want to have a job and depend on that job to dictate the outcome of me. I often say, if you work for somebody any day, they can come in and say, hey, listen, thank you for the years of service. We're going another direction. No longer can use you. HR is here to go over your severance package if there's one, and bye. That's it. If you got a 401k, great. If you're old enough to, draw your retirement, your Social Security, if it still exists at that point in time, good. Is that going to be enough to sustain the lifestyle? And so these are questions that I cannot answer for you personally, but you know the answers to that. And so can you take the risk of not doing this or any other business that's going to help you grow financially? And so there's always going to be a risk, guys. Are you a sheep or a wolf? I think I mentioned that in the previous video. It's all about what you want, guys. If you want to be in business for yourself, at some point, you got to dive in, man. You got to pull the trigger. But, do it smart. Educate yourself. Make sure you do your homework. If you don't, you can go in business and go out of business really quick. Not just in trucking, but any business. So I don't know if I answered your question. I guess I did. The question was, is there risk in starting a box truck business? Yes, there is. There is. The risk you don't make enough money, right? Make sure you keep your expenses and overhead as low as possible, and you'll be okay, in my opinion. Ask questions. Make sure you have multiple sources of research, not just YouTube. No knock against YouTube. We're here on YouTube now. There is some great content here on YouTube, especially about starting a box truck business. Multiple channels, multiple videos, a lot of content. I've watched a lot of video, but make sure you broaden your search in terms of research, not just YouTube, And of course, listen, you got Uncle Kenny. My contact information is always linked in the description below. Guys, I hope that helped. You've got to decide, is this for you? If not, what is for you? What business? But like I say, take trucking out of it. No matter what business you decide to dive into, you got to research that business. Make sure it's something that you can do, and you got to have some money. I don't believe, many people will tell you can start this business with very little money. I don't believe that. My opinion. I don't believe it. You got to have some money, and you got to have what if money as well. So, startup costs. Should something happens. So, there it is. I hope it has helped. I don't want to take a lot of time, but I've had a lot of questions regarding, and maybe it wasn't shaped as, is it risky? But the questions that I've been receiving is talking about the risk involved. Well, what if this happened? What if that don't happen? What if this happened? Kenny, I know your truck broke. What if my truck break down? What ifs? Do your homework. Make sure this is a business for you. If you have a partner, wife, husband, or what have you, make sure you guys are having lengthy conversations about this. My biggest support, I don't mind saying it here, my biggest support is not what's in my wallet. It's my wife, my better half. Supports me 150%, and I do the same. Without her, I don't mind saying on this channel, there will be no me. I am very blessed to have her. And so hopefully you have that support system in place as well, whether it be a wife, husband, family member, mentor, what have you. That is always helpful to have somebody in your corner that you can bounce things off of, bounce ideas, and having somebody that will be honest, not just telling you what you want to hear, but telling you what you need to hear, honesty in any business. So, but make sure you guys are building that business credit. You can start that process, guys, before you even move forward with purchasing a truck. I mentioned in my last video, business is good right now. Business is really good in transportation in general. So come on in. Come on in. All right. Listen, tough times. They don't last forever. Tough people. Yeah, they always do. And money does not come with instructions. Come with a lot of things, but it doesn't come with instructions. So that means you, my friends, have to be smart in your decision-making process. I asked at the beginning, I'll ask again. If you would, continue to help this channel on the path of growing by hitting that subscribe button. That will definitely help us get in front of a larger audience. The more people that are involved in our box truck conversation, the more you and I will learn. Also, the notification bell, so you'll be notified when there's some new content that you may want to check out. Like button. And if you know somebody maybe on the same path with you, researching and trying to get more information about the box truck game, share the video with them as well. We appreciate that. All right. We will talk to you soon. Good to see everybody. Hope you and your family and your business are well. You take care now. We'll talk soon.